The final word.
Come on. Final word.
What's up, Bob?
Nothing to it, Chief. Mama said they're going to be days just like this.
Final word.
You know what they say, big dog? Championships are won in the offseason, dog.
Yup. I can't argue with the truth.
Yeah, man.
When you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too.
You want answers?
The final word.
That's the truth. So, you know, some people want to tune out right now.
Yup.
Law, would you say that's a bad time?
Yes, indeed.
The final word.
One more time.
None of
Let
these
me turn
days
it
off.
down. Let me turn it down. Can you Right. Right.
Man, come on. Come on with it.
Come
Well,
on.
you gonna go faster with it. Yeah.
No days out. Hold on. Oh, there it is.
The final word.
The final word.
The final word.
The final word.
So
The
this is
final
time.
word. The final word.
I would say we need to be the most active. Final word.
But yeah. You learn more from your failures than your success.
Yes. Yes, Law. Yes. Clap it up for Law. Clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up.
Yes, indeed.
Good one, Law. That's facts. 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 So loud. Facts.
Yoga fire.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, and I know the Cowboy Nation, they upset, man. But I think, especially looking at what we're gonna be talking about today, we trying to win that championship
The
in this
final
offseason,
word.
big dog.
Dracarys.
So let's take it serious, Cowboy Nation. Take it serious.
The final word.
No days off. Hard
The final
truth time. Yeah. So we gonna talk about some hard truth today. Yeah, it's that necessary. It's can you handle the truth? Law, you think they can
Yeah.
handle it?
Man, I don't think they can.
The truth. You can't handle the truth. You want answers?
Word. The final word.
It's all about that truth, man. We gonna talk about the truth.
The
But you know what they
final
doing
word.
right now, though, fam?
Uh-oh,
The
talk to
final
me.
word. The
Talk to
final
me.
word.
Facts. Oh man, that's exactly what's going on.
Man.
Woo. Woo.
Alright, man.
Oh man, bro. So yeah, man, it might be some more crying today after we tell the truth. Woo-wee.
Yes, indeed.
But it's gonna be all good, man. Y'all buckle up. It ain't gonna be that bad. Trust me. Trust me, it ain't gonna be that bad. We gonna get through this, man. We gonna all get better from this. We all
Some
need
dogs,
this
man.
too. Yeah.
Get it, man. Down, boy, down.
Down. Down. Let's rock. Start the show. Coming down the pipe, baby. Let's get it. I see y'all coming in the building. I see y'all in the building. What's up?
Yeah.
I just wanna run it up.
I do.
Kinda check or something. I've been really in the field, let up. Yeah.
I'm really in the field, man.
We in there, man.
I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
I do.
Run it.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Yeah.
Kinda check or something. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
I do. Man, let's run it up.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives. Need them tens, I need that change. To the set, got blues inside.
Let's go.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play.
Charge it.
to the game. I'm with LA, I'm with T-Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay.
Run it up.
Now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty.
No switching sides,
Used to
bro.
size up for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment.
Yeah.
You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it.
I'm not
Search
feeling
for
that.
the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this.
Nothing
Can't
real
trust
as
a
this.
soul, I keep a hammer calling.
Legit.
I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
All right.
Let's run it.
Let's run it. All right. So, as you know, it's gonna be Law and Boss. We gonna be on time. You know that. And then
Yeah.
we got, the OC. He gonna come in a little bit late, and then we got Big Game James. He gonna come in just a little bit late, but they gonna be here, man. They gonna be here. So, man, first of all, we got a lot we gonna talk about in terms of truth, right?
Right.
So we'll kind of start with some of this breaking stuff, and obviously you've done some content work on this, and we go just kind of start from there, and just kind of take it as it go, Law. So we go kick it off with this. So the Cowboys coach searching breaking. They talking about this came out from Mike Fisher, a story about Mike Fisher, first coordinator interview. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, my thing is this real, right? I gotta ask that question. Is this real? Or is this one of those Rooney Rule things again? Because I'm gonna be honest, Law, I don't know how you feel about this, but I've been seeing a pattern, obviously, with the Dallas Cowboys, to where we seeing a lot of kind of interviews to where, like all these teams, they just gotta fill a quota for interviews, and it's hard to tell if it's actually real or not because you're not seeing no movement with any of the minorities. So they looked at this guy, we'll see what happened. But then it also happened with Dan Quinn, didn't it?
Yeah. All of this is nothing new under the sun. We interviewed Joe Witt Jr. for the defensive coordinator job. Even Charles Woodson came out and spoke about it and said that, he will back up Joe Witt Jr. for as far as his acknowledgement and his accolades. And then they sent him on packing, and then a few days later we signed Dan Quinn. So there's a lot of solidifications for that. So they solidified the Rooney Rule, meaning that now they got a new placement even with positional coaching. So they have to still interview a minority candidate in order for to solidify the Rooney Rule. First, the Rooney Rule was designed only for head coaching, but they realized that even within the confines of offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, that a lot of minority people are not getting the same chances and opportunities. Now, granted, the rule may be crass, but the information for this is still good for Jeff Nixon, because now he get a chance to showcase his talent, his resume, and beyond, and say, hey, I've been coaching since 1997 in some capacity, right? And on top of that, in 2017, I was with the Baylor Bears, with their offense, and I was the co-offensive coordinator there with Matt Rule, being one of the most prolific offenses in the collegiate era during that time frame between 2017 all the way to 2020. And when Matt Rule got advanced to the NFL, he brought him about, and he was the running backs coach for the Panthers. And then in some capacity, he was the offensive coordinator this year. So I look at everything, maybe, just maybe. We've been talking about running the ball. Well, lo and behold, we got somebody now that can run the actual ball, right from the philosophy of the coaching aspect of it. So let's bring him in and let's see what he got for a cup of coffee. I don't mind him interviewing at all.
So this is the deal. My boss say, I want to talk about the Diggs contract. All right, we'll switch the topic, bro.
We'll switch it up, baby.
We'll switch it up, bro. Hey, that ain't nothing, bro. You ain't said nothing but a word.
When he get hired, then we'll jump right on into that.
That was just the kind of started off. That was the softball. Trust me, we got the heavy heat coming. But Diggs is something that we definitely want to talk about. So obviously it's offseason.
Right.
And the Dallas Cowboys in the offseason are different. They do things different, right? So instead of going behind the scenes and kind of handling their business, negotiating in private, we usually get real nasty. That's our MO. And nobody's immune to it. Well, some people get treated better than others. Real quick, he said no sugarcoating for sensitive Cowboy fans. Keep it sugar free tonight, boss-in-law. Hurt feelings is okay if we keep keeping it 100. No pain, no gain. Nah, we on that, and we not gonna shy away from that. Nah, we on that. No. Yeah, we go. Yeah, we independent. We ain't got to worry about no bosses over here.
Yeah, but what's understood shouldn't have to be explained. Basically, we've seen this storyline before. Even with Mike McCarthy, they did to Marvin. You know what I'm saying? What was the coach Marvin over there? What's his name? Marvin Lewis. Yeah. So we've seen this storyline before. So what I'm trying to say here is, in order for people to get things right, you're gonna have to get ownership.
Yep.
It's just the bottom line.
That's it.
People that look like me and you, they're going to have to figure out a way to get billions of dollars and just get in when the opening is there. Look, you got your setup. It's your stuff, right? Mm-hmm. It's equivalent for me to tell you, hey, man, I want you to move that desk to the other side of the room. I want you to pick up that microphone stand and put it on the opposite side. Those owners, they own the team. You can't tell them who to hire. And even if you do tell them who to hire, it would not be genuine. The rope won't even be long. It'll be a short rope. So I get it. The people that don't want to hear this, I get it. Y'all don't want to believe that this world is what it is. I done seen people burn up stuff over, what's that girl that's a mermaid now? They got mad at her for being a mermaid. Let the sister be a mermaid. We talking about a Disney character. So people in this world are crazy. People in this world want things to be how they perceive it to be, but nobody want the truth, because the truth is the hardest pill to swallow. But in order for you to get to going where you got to go, you got to stand on your own 2 feet and be an owner to make things change. But you can't
handle the truth.
Facts, Law.
Yeah, this is what it is.
Because that's what it's going to come down to. Because all they doing, and it's obvious what they doing, is they just doing these interviews just to get around a rule.
Right.
That was supposed to be a rule that's supposed to be opening y'all to more candidates.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to be open you up and say, hey, it's guys out here that's more deserving. We gonna make them get in front of you in case you don't see them. But they really just like, hey, we already know who we go hire, so we go just get some guys. We go waste their time. It wasn't designed for that. So you're right. The only thing we really need right now is ownership. Because
ownership, yeah.
And I don't care if you white, I don't care if you black, I don't care if you yellow, I don't care if you purple. Nobody will want one group ruling over them.
Right.
And especially like, let's say if you had to go to court. There's a certain reason why they say a jury of your peers, because there's supposed to be a certain amount of reflection in people that's going to be responsible for your destiny. It's supposed to be. So it was days to where, you know, people like Emmett Till would get off and all the people that murdered him would get off. But you know why? Because the whole jury was white and the whole jury was in that town. Yeah. So you don't want anything to where everything or a majority, and the major majority is one creed, one color, one sex. You know, the diversity is going to give you generally, to your point, Law, and it's a good point, fairness, and it's going to be more so respected as fair. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, perceptions is reality, right? And what it appears to be someone that probably grew up and graduated from Jackson State versus someone graduated from Princeton or Yale, they would go back on the fact that, hey, my university, my college is more prestige, right? So we deal with this in any walks of life. So what's fair is life is not. And what people try to do is they try to make it fair, and they force things to be submerged into this direction, whereas now we look back at it and we'll say, hey, you just a token, brother. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the complete picture, because fair is fair. 2 + 2 is 4, right?
Yeah.
You can say 2 + 2 is 4 here. In China, 2 + 2 is 4 there. And on the moon, 2 + 2 is 4. But what people think and what people say is, since I went to Harvard, my 2 + 2 is better than your 2 + 2, which is not fair, you know.
Nah.
So that's just how it is. The only way they can overcome all of this is, like I said, is ownership. You go buy your own, you go create your own league, and then you create your own rules and principles. But since it's already been established, and you trying to bend into shape and shift yourself into something like this, it's not going to always be justifications and justified as fair because of those biased reasonings.
Yeah, and so that is what it is, and then obviously we gonna just say it like this: this ain't gonna change until we get
Ain't gonna change.
ownership,
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then somebody say they not gonna let.
Man,
hold on,
I'ma tell y'all.
hold on. I'm with you, OC. I got you. Before you say what you gonna say, somebody said they not letting black billionaires like Puff by a team. See like NFL got a white picket fence protecting theirs. Bro, listen.
You do got to get voted in, huh?
Yeah, but this is the deal. This is what I want to say. It's way more billionaires than Puffy. We got
all Puffy got to do is dance.
Oh, stop, man! Wait!
All he got to do is dance. All he got to do is dance.
No! Hey, my boy Landlord.
That's all he got to do.
My boy Landlord.
That's all you gotta do, boss. You gotta dance. You got.
No, you messing up, bro. You doing too much, bro. You doing
that's
too
right.
much.
That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do is dance.
Some things not a joke, OC. Some things not a joke, OC.
Hey, no, that ain't a joke. That ain't a joke. That's the truth.
I explained it.
That's
Bro. We want to
business.
hear this. I want to hear this, bro, because we gonna get down to the players after this. Real quick, that boy Landlord said we the best show on YouTube. Appreciate it, big dog. That mean a lot coming from you, homie. For real. But go ahead, OC.
Because when you come from a certain background and genres and you're dealing with people that are not familiar with you, you got to do the type of things to make them feel comfortable.
Oh,
that's what that is. No, I'm being honest here. I'm being honest.
Like
and I'm not. This is not
so
me.
You said the way to get in is balls got to be shucking and jiving. Can you lower your camera some? So balls got to be shucking and jiving to get in, bro. Balls got to be in there tap dancing. We sick, boss. Balls got to be doing all that, bro.
hey, you gotta do what makes the person. I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix my camera, guys. You gotta do what will make people feel comfortable around you if they're not familiar with you. Even if you have money to get into certain circles, and that's just a bottom line. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I am telling a truth if you can receive it. If you can receive it. He who has ears, let him hear.
No, that's real. That's real. That's real. So what we doing today, man, we telling hard truths, and we talking about the hard truths of our season. All right, so that's what we talking about. And because these hard truths are gonna make us better, like you said, if we can receive it. So we gonna talk about something else real quick that came out. But the cool thing is it was already out because of what they call new media bars. So so this came out. Cowboys Ezekiel Elliott dad's fake news rumor, keep or cut. So they was obviously talking about the news that came out the day after we lost.
Yeah.
Hit that button. I like that, Low.
I had to.
Yeah, hit that button. Hit that button.
Because I want to intercept this right quick.
Yeah.
Since I see him in the chat, he didn't want to go out with this because he's saying that, hey, is predicated upon how the offensive coordinator is going to be, so it would be a moot point. But my guy West Coast, man, we was live last week.
Last week, Tuesday. Yep.
And he spoke to the source. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
you see, there's a difference between speaking to the source versus fabricating the information. You see, that's why they said there's a difference between resource versus source. See, my guy West, he spoken to the source of the matter. You see what I'm saying? And the source said, my son didn't
son.
utter those words. So there's no fabrication for the nation. So that's why I tell y'all the real, raw, and uncut comes from the people like us. So there shouldn't be no resources because the resources got to pull from the source. And my guy West Coast done already elaborated on it from the source, from the horse's mouth, from the guy that raised Ezekiel, Elijah, Elliot. So those things are truth. And a lot of people don't want to settle down with the truth, but they like to use the media once again to sully and denigrate their own. That's just how it goes. And this is going to be a warfare all this offseason. And we might get cut over here, man. We might bleed a little bit, y'all. But please don't shank me with the butter knife for speaking my truths.
Yeah, and see, you said you might get cut. That's not an understatement. See, people got to understand when you doing what we doing, sometimes we become the enemies to power.
Right.
It was a time in which I saw, for a fact, Law and West Coast attacked in training camp.
Yep.
And it was put it out there that like they was putting out fake news, and they wasn't. But what was really going on is the news that was put out was news that the front office didn't want out. And then they goons, they media people, they hitmen. See, this is what people got to understand.
Yeah.
A lot of times the media are hitmen. Do I need to say that one more time?
Go ahead.
They hitmen. And they be doing favors for front office for the next exclusive. So some people be like, exclusive. That's good. But my question is, with some of y'all, not all of y'all, because some people got integrity, but with some of y'all, who did you sell out for your exclusive? And for your future exclusives. So when they come to you and say, hey, we need this story out. Because we talking about the truth today. Because see, people say they want to hear about Diggs, OC. So before we talk about Diggs, we got to get y'all ready for the offseason and the real work that go into the offseason, which is also deciphering the real from the fake.
So, Boss Cowboy, are you implying that media personalities sell their souls like rappers to get access?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Is that what you're implying? Okay, I just wanted to be clear about that. Okay, go ahead.
Matter of fact, I think I should have said it how you said it. Direct.
You can't handle the truth.
That's the direct truth is what I just said.
Because I emphasize that because it's very, very important in deciphering. Law brought up an excellent point on the inside scoops that some of us types, new media, non-traditional media would get, right? So that's going to be very important in the off season to decipher some of the things that you may hear that may be pushed out as being completely true. Right. That's why I brought that up.
And then somebody said, we the best show on YouTube. Let's go Cowboy Nation, man. I appreciate that, big dog. And then Jamie Young Cal said, where is Big? Big is on his way. So Big, some of y'all might not notice, but Big does a lot of coaching with kids. And the OC also is coaching a lot of times his sons, so he not gonna be able to, and they not gonna always be prompt all the time like Law and I. We all men that's juggling a whole lot to make this happen for the final word. So just keep that in mind. But we already built it to be flexible. So whenever the homie come in, we go to the 4-man crew and we go rock. All right. But we still kind of talking about, and this is now leading into just keeping it real, Diggs. Let's talk about that. Because I have a problem what's already starting to kind of unfold on Diggs, right? Because and me and OC, we talked about this today actually. This is one of the few times the OC and myself, we actually talked about something prior to talking about it on the show. But one of the things that me and the OC kind of had a small difference on was Diggs' year versus how Diggs finished. And the way Diggs finished, I could see people kind of questioning Diggs. But if you add him up over a whole year, the only thing I'm going to say is shut your mouth. Yeah. It don't make no sense to question Diggs over a whole year. You know what I mean? Of his body of work. He should be paid top of the market corner rate without having his name sullied, disagreed. You know the word you use, Law. You know what I mean?
Yeah, denigrated. Yeah, denigrated. Yeah.
He shouldn't have to go through that like all of our players go through. Because think about it, they did Zeke like that with the Zeke who. Mm-hmm. They did Amari like that. They did Dak like that, comparing him to other quarterbacks. They compared Tank to other people.
Khalil Mack, they said he ain't no Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack ain't Khalil Mack now.
Oh!
Shots fired.
Yeah.
He said Khalil ain't Khalil. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'll say just really quick about that is that I think that football is on a weighted average, okay? And I think that you got the regular season and you got the postseason, and the postseason is weighted, in my opinion, like a final exam. And the NFL is not for long. And what have you done for me lately, right? And so what you saw in the playoffs, which could give openings to some hostility toward top dollar, is his performance in the 2 playoff games. Okay, so you did see that. So overall, yes, he had a good year. Is he one of the top corners? Yes. Great ball skills, phenomenal. That's very, very hard to find, the things that he can do with the ball in the air. And so for those reasons, yes, he should be paid, but he leaves himself open to scrutiny when you kind of lay some goose eggs in playoff games, man. It just happens like that.
It don't happen like that everywhere, though. See,
not everywhere.
You obviously referring to us. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
you're saying it happened with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And somebody just said, boss, the hitmen are working. Yeah, they working. And they was working last year on Amari. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but did y'all remember? Breaking news. It was some people in front office that didn't like the effort of Amari Cooper in the last drive. That was a hit job, bro. Go ahead, hit him, Law.
Breaking news, the front office really don't like Amari Cooper. They said he gave up on a few plays, and technically he's only playing half of a year. He never shows up on the road, etc. Where else do they do this? No other place. More news from the Star in Frisco at 7. That's how it goes, man. It's going to be like that now. They finna rev up the Trayvon Diggs situation. Yep. There's no element of surprise of how he will be reacting to this type of news about him out there on the field. Y'all got to keep in mind, people held Trayvon Diggs to high regards. I get it. His first year, he broke his foot or what have you. He still played. He still occurred, I believe, about 3 interceptions his first year. To follow up his second year, he had 11 INTs, and everybody was grading this dude like he was Jalen Ramsey. And I was saying, hey, y'all, this is his second year. And in his third year, now it's about the tackling and the lack of efforts and these sorts of things. Now, he only had 2 missed tackles, and I know that they don't tell the complete story of Trayvon Diggs, but on one end, we were crying, begging, and moaning. I want to say that B word so much. I want to say it, but I'm not going to say it. But we was moaning about the fact that we can't get INTs.
Yes, we was.
Now we can get INTs.
A lot of them.
Now we can get INTs.
Right.
We get a lot of them.
Right.
So we can't have it both ways. Me and my brother was doing a podcast a couple of weeks ago, last week, and he was talking about what the Cowboys want. They want Dion and Rod Woodson. The Rod Woodson that was an actual CB at the time, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they want Dion Woodson. So that's just how it goes, man. We are never satisfied to a degree. And to me personally, I look at it like, no, you still build around Diggs, you still build around Parsons, and you can make this thing work. But now that you selling the name of Diggs, yes, he's going to want high dollars, man. Yes, he's going to want Denzel Ward's money. But didn't they pay $230 guaranteed money to that quarterback? Didn't they pay Denzel Ward? Didn't they pay Garrett over there, Myles Garrett? They don't have contract obligations over there, and they were able to play Amari Cooper. Let me know. Is it the same money or is it different money?
Yeah, and see, this is the thing. So my boy Trey say, we closing a blind eye to avoid all the contact, fellas? No. That's why we started the context with he finished not as good.
Mm-hmm.
So we already kept it real, but that's why I said if you look at the body of, okay, did anybody have a problem with Diggs when he was assigned to Chase and shut him down? Did anybody have a problem with him when he was signed to Jefferson and shut him down? Did you have a problem then? No, I'm asking the question. When he was one of the main reasons why ID allowed Cooper Rush to win those games, did you have a problem? So yes, I do have a problem with the way that he performed at the end in the playoffs. But if I look at him over his whole body of work, I'm not going to use that as leverage to try to hardball this man in the public. I'm not going to play them dumb games. I'm not. I'm going to pay him. I'm going to talk to him respectably, and I'm not going to throw him under the bus. Because, see, this is the thing that I want to say real quick that I hate about our front office. When we do those things, the Zeke who, the Dak, he's no Khalil Mack. When you doing all of that, you are pissing on your players in the public to negotiate with them in private, and then after you pay them a market setting contract, you then tell them go out there and play for this organization like you love it. No, it's hard to love you, baby, after you spit on me. It's hard to love you. It's hard. You can't do people any kind of way and then be like, play with your heart. It ain't gonna work.
Big Game J.
Big is in the building. I can't hear you, big dog. You about to turn on your volume. But yeah, man, you can't do that, bro. Go ahead, Law. Well, we get again.
Yeah. So my thing is now, willing and dealing is a whole nother avenue.
Right.
And I would love that the Cowboys, if they do that in silence, that would be great. When Tyreek Hill spoke out about the organization, they said, all right, cool. They didn't sell him anymore. They put him on a trading block, and the team gave him a king's ransom for it. Even with the Dak Prescott fiasco, when you start having reservations and doubts about the person that's going to touch the ball almost 100% of the time, then you should be making some type of concessions for that, meaning that, all right, cool, we don't believe in you, then let's see what we can get. At least let's see what the market say. And then you could have put him up against the market and say, okay, we are willing to part ways with you for a first or a second round draft pick or a second and a third round draft pick so that we can get something back in return. But what you don't do is put the player on the franchise tag, which will cripple the organization and franchise even more, meaning that you can't prorate the money, you can't slice the money, you can't do anything with the money when it's the franchise tag. That is reverse hustling. Yeah. Only people that do the franchise tags is equivalent to those check cashing advance places, meaning that you're going to put all of your money and you're going to get all of that money that you got to pay for even more back. You borrow $400, it's going to have to pay $1,000 back. And that is what the franchise tag does for the organization. They shouldn't have franchised Dalton Schultz because now you had $11 to $12 million that you couldn't even play around with. And now we're back at the same table, and that $11 to $12 million went up for Dalton Schultz. So y'all see how this franchise tag thing work. It don't work. Name me the teams that's now in the Super Bowl. Did they franchise tag anything?
I I'll be faking it if I.
Well, now it's 11.4 for Dalton Schultz if you bring him back with a franchise tag, which you absolutely should not do, by the way. You got enough talent in the room actually to part ways with Dalton Schultz, and I hope he don't block me on Twitter, but I'm just saying that the reality of it is that, man, you got to do what's best for the organization. You've proven that you can go into the draft and get an undrafted guy in Hendershot to give you blocking, better blocking, and productivity in terms of the pass game. To me, that's an interchangeable part. If you want to have loyalty, a Jason Witten loyalty, then you got to bring him back on a true team-friendly deal, because you cannot pay him market rate in terms of an explosive contract, because he's only called for around 500 yards this season, and I believe 5 touchdowns, something like that. So the productivity doesn't merit a blockbuster deal.
And plus, we run a new system to where he's not gonna have his superpowers anymore. The superpowers of Dalton Schultz was the option routes. So now we got a head coach that's gonna be like, we ain't doing that, dog. All right, hold on real quick. Let's test Big. Let's make sure Big sound good. Big, you good? Damn. Now you touched something, bro. When you touched something, the sound came on. I think it's a short. I think you gotta kind of. There it is. Yeah, it's a short. It's a short, bro. Yeah, it's a short, because you gotta kind of get it still, trick it and tweak it and jimmy it, all the hood stuff we say.
MacGyver that thing, man.
There it is.
You got a Will McClain, man.
You got a Will McClain, you bro. Come on, we need you, big. Come on, bro. Keep working with it, big dog.
Get your damn act together.
We gonna keep pushing, bro. Hey, when you come in, just start talking, because what happens is I hear it, and because I can hear it when it works. It's just you got a short. It's something in your wire. I can tell, because it come in and it come out.
Yeah.
Keep playing with it. All right. There it is. There it is. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Don't touch it. We good, but you a little bit low.
You're low.
Keep working with it. All right, real quick though, we gonna keep moving on to something real quick. We got to get Big up in here, man. Though.
Yeah.
The final word. There you go.
Yeah.
You good? You loud now?
Good.
All right, I'm gonna talk a little loud. I apologize if I sound loud.
No, you good, bro.
I apologize. This is all in here too.
That's all good. Yeah, your face way up in here, bro. It's kind of weird.
I know.
It's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward right now.
It's very awkward for me too.
All right, go for it. What you got, big dog?
Just bouncing off that Trayvon Diggs thing you guys were talking about. We talked about this though, didn't we, boss?
Yeah.
I said that between Micah, CeeDee Lamb, and Trayvon Diggs, I said only Micah was going to get paid. Now CeeDee Lamb moved himself in that word of getting paid because of his numbers. But dog, I feel like I talked about this, that they were going to play Trayvon Diggs, because remember, after he got those 11 interceptions, remember when we talked about this, boss, when I said you better get them yards against you down, because they're going to start using that against you during contract negotiations, and they're going to try to play you with that.
Yep.
And guess what they're already starting doing? Dropped interceptions, not tackling. They're already using those angles of why they don't have to pay him. And I'm sorry, I looked at his market value in Spot Rack. It's like 15.5. I think annually. Dallas gonna be doing that for Trayvon Diggs?
They should.
They should, but they not. I don't think they are.
Man, I'm gonna go against popular opinion here, and I'm sorry, guys, but Trayvon Diggs, I'll make him prove it another year. I wouldn't pay him no big money. I'll make him prove another year to be sure that thing wasn't a fluke, right? The first time you're a fluke, the second time you're lucky, the third season, now that's consistent. So I'm telling you, if he comes up with another big year, pay him at the end of next season, because Will McClay has proven the ability to scout and get talent. Now we might not get. Now, I'm telling you, I know. See, I know you're gonna start crucifying me, but I'm telling you, man, right now, you don't gotta do that right now. You don't have to. You got other things. And because of the fact that Trayvon Diggs, because of his performance last season, he's played well overall. He didn't get challenged the first part of the season. They didn't even really challenge him a lot. So I'm telling you, you can get You can get another DB if you need to. Will McClay, I believe in you. I believe in you, Will. If you need
let me
to,
get
you got
down
to.
on this, boss. Let me go next. Let me go next.
Man, hold on. I
come
gotta
on,
get
come
this
on,
boy straight
Lord.
business,
Come on,
brother.
Lord.
Hold on, bro. This done got gangsta up in here, bro. Hold on. This done got all
Lord,
the
Lord
way
about to give me.
gangsta
Lord, I'm trying to
No
get
already.
me.
emotions, no
God,
friends,
dog, OC.
Lord,
no
I'm trying to
loyalty.
shake me. Lord, I'm ready for you, though, Lord. Come on.
No,
You
Come on,
straight
Lord.
OC
Put
bad.
hashtag
You
straight
smoking
business in the
all
chat.
kind of crack right now. Put the pipe down, homie.
Well,
I ain't
well,
got
let
the
me go.
pipe.
Let me
Go
get
ahead.
downs on this, boss. Let me get downs on this,
Go.
boss, and then
God, dog, I didn't expect that. We.
I agree with my guy OC to this degree. If they do decide to move on from him, I want the front office to change their ways. Don't sully the man. Don't talk bad about the man. This will be the time that you uplift the guy and you sell the truth about, hey, these are the things that he does well, so that another team can be looking at it like, shoo, I need that. I would give you a first-round draft pick for this trade, or I give you a second and a third for this trade. They need to start doing that better. I think that we draft remarkable. We draft phenomenal. We
Because they ain't got
drafting
no
really
choice but
good.
to draft low. They ain't got no choice but to draft phenomenally because they don't touch free agency. That's why they phenomenally draft great, because they have no choice, because they do nothing in free agency. That's why we must be great in the draft. We have to be absolutely 100% great in the draft because we rely on nothing but young players, our own, and middle level free agents. So we have to be great in the draft. I agree with you talking about if you're going to play that game, then if you're thinking about getting rid of him, then get some picks for him and say, well, we got rid of Trayvon Diggs, but we got a first and a third for him or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you might be mad, but you came back with something. But they
Something,
play around. They play around and get in their feelings about the player. They do all that goofy stuff, and then when the player barks back at them, then they're like, all right, we'll just let you go for it. We just get out of here. We'll just take a draft pick because we don't want to deal with you no more. That's their problem. They let their emotions get into it, in my opinion, because why else are you letting guys go, or you're not going to get collateral, Tyron Smith or something like that, when he was at a level you could have got something for? Like, they wait till the last minute all the time doing these things, and it's going to happen again with Trayvon Diggs and contract negotiations. And I told y'all, even with Michael Parsons, Michael's going to get the big money, but everybody loves Michael now. But once that contract come up, you're going to see a lot of people start hating on Michael Parsons too when he want mega money, because he's going to want mega monstrous money.
Ooh.
And he doing a lot.
Hey, I love being a Cowboy.
Big game, James.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Let's have some fun. Let's have a good
That boy
time,
is in
man.
the
Let's kick
building.
it.
Fire.
That's why you gotta have big in the house.
Yeah, you do.
And that's the problem, though, with the Dallas Cowboys and how they manage some of these contracts. I'm going to keep it 100% with you guys, because at the end of the day, man, when you're dealing with a person like Michael Parsons, he's going to clap back. So if you try to sully his name, he's a guy that's going to put you on blast on Twitter. That's the kind of dude he is, right? But what the Cowboys do, they play bully ball. Like a, you know what I mean? And a bully always get mad when you hit him back. That's what they do. They bully these players publicly, and then if you say something back, no, it's business. We're just doing business. Well, then, if it's business, don't take it personal when I come back for your head. That's the whole issue here. But furthermore, I put out a video this week regarding the salary cap and some of the changes that they are going to have to make, because right now, the Dallas Cowboys are paying 4 players $92 million coming up in 2023 as it sits right now. You have Dak Prescott with $49 million. You have DeMarcus Lawrence with $26 million. All right. You also have Ezekiel Elliott in that equation. I forget his number. And then you also have Zach Martin with $19 million. Right. So if you total those things up, it's $92 million with 4 players, and they cannot live like that. They got to make some adjustments.
They will. They go restructure like they do every year.
You already know.
They go restructure like they do every year. That's, and see, this is. Go ahead, Big.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to restructure them deals like they always do. They're going to come to Dak. They're going to come to them, restructure so they can free up money. But even when you restructure and free up money, you ain't signing nobody. Y'all just talked about Dalton Schultz. You should not sign Dalton Schultz, period. There's no reason why you should sign Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz should just go ahead and walk. It's no hate on Dalton Schultz, but you got 2 young tight ends and you got McEwen too, and you can get another tight end. Why would you even do that? That's why I agree with Law with that franchise tag. When they was even talking about franchising Tony Pollard, it don't make no sense to franchise a running back for 1 year. He's not going to be happy. It's not good. So leave the franchise tag alone. Just leave it alone, Dallas. Y'all don't need to do it on nobody. Tell me who they need a franchise.
Yeah. And then around this time last year, there was 2 teams that had $22 million. We franchise tagged Dalton Schultz. We signed Michael Gallup to a long-term contract or in between long-term contract. And with the third piece of that money, we went and re-up D-Law. The Eagles had the $22 million, and I don't even want to say what all of they did with that money. Y'all seen it. Y'all can see it right now in the Super Bowl.
No, we saw. Wait. Don't get the OC started. OC goes start singing fly. He goes.
Wait a minute, OC.
I'm not saying.
What happened?
I'm just talking, bro.
Boss.
I'm just playing, bro. I'm just playing.
You know more the song than me.
I'm just playing, bro. You gonna start singing the Philly fight song in a minute, dog.
I ain't singing a Philly fight song.
You done already declared they won a Super Bowl, and I debate. I'm still mad at y'all for giving this dude the victory on that debate.
Y'all,
what kind of sucker stuff is this?
Hey man, don't be a sore loser, boss cowboy, because the truth will set you free, my brother. At the end of the day, they've done a better. At the end of the day, they've done a better job managing that roster and putting together the whole piece to be competitive,
managing the roster,
to get an opportunity to win championship games. They've been to the Super Bowl. They won in 2017, and they're back in the Super Bowl again. Okay,
Lord.
So at the end of the day, there are things that we can learn. I'm saying there are things that we can learn. There are things that we can learn from the management of the organization and how they handle draft picks.
No, we ain't got to learn nothing on that. Stop. We ain't got to learn nothing on how to pick players. We ain't got to learn that. If anything, we got to learn is how they coach. But we ain't got to learn nothing about how to get players. Nothing.
I'm feeling what you're saying, but you tell me, what is Jerry Jones at 80 years old gonna learn? He's our general manager.
He's gonna learn. He's not going to learn. He's going to let Will McClay, let the scouts ding, and stop trying to play like you a scout. When they bring the menu of the best to you, you need to rock with that. And
some people see through you, OC. Some people see through you. My boy say OC smoking that Eagles pack. Yeah. Then then Cal like boss I'm black from that OC whooping. That boy ain't whooped nothing over here. Do you understand me? He ain't whooped nothing.
Hey, boss, I seen you give up a touchdown in college, and you still ain't admitted it to this day.
I ain't gave up no touchdown in college. That's a lie. I ain't never gave up no touchdown in college. That is a lie. That is a lie. Now, I saw you give up a multiple sacks. You over there reaching for the dude's ankles, biting on his ankles because he done beat you so bad. If you don't go sit your yellow self down. I'm sick of you, LL Cool J.
Now you're lying.
All right, we got another topic, man. I'm sick of the OC. I'm sick of you, man. I'm sick of you. All right, here we go, though. Now, let's talk about this, though, because we said we're going to be telling the truth today. All right, we telling the truth. So this came out on the Dan Patrick show, and we going to talk about this. I got the clip right here. We go play it, and let's go. Here we go.
Was Kellen Moore fired by the Cowboys?
I heard things weren't great between him and Mike McCarthy at the end. And, you know, I don't know if it was finally the fact that they were both sort of play callers by trade that got them, or it was the way that Dak played. What I do know is, like, that arrangement that I think had worked okay, but had its ups and downs over 3.
Wait, did he say arrangement? I want to first see if he said arrangement. Because did he say arrangement? Because did not do a video the other day say the arranged marriage? And this is something we've been talking about this on the Final Word for a whole year. A whole year. So listen, the word unsullied came from Law. Law is the one that came up with unsullied. To where he was talking about Mike McCarthy had his nuts chopped from the beginning. So hold on, let me just rewind this one time and we go talk about it. Now this
I
ain't.
never knew. I didn't get this early today. Play it, man.
I got you. I'm gonna play it again. Listen.
Was Kellen Moore fired by the Cowboys?
I heard things weren't great between him and Mike McCarthy at the end. And you know, I don't know if it was finally the fact that they were both sort of play callers by trade that got them, or it was the way that Dak played. What I do know is like that arrangement that I think had worked okay, but had its ups and downs over 3 years, had sort of run its course. Ooh. And obviously there were some great opportunities to be an offensive coordinator elsewhere for Kellen Moore. And I think this sort of allowed them to come to a everybody wins type of scenario.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got something for it.
You must be out your goddamn mind.
Crazy. Now, first of all, my question is, how in the world do people get like these big jobs and they don't have no common sense? That's my thing. Like, how in the world did people not understand that there was a friction between Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore when Kellen Moore said, now when Mike McCarthy said out loud, I've never been a fan of option routes. That should have been the alarm right there. That should have been the
they coming.
So like not everybody like it was some friction at the end. It's supposed to be friction. It's gonna be friction. It's not even about the scheme. It's about your OC doing what you said you're not a fan of, meaning he controlling your destiny. You wouldn't have friction with the guy that's under you? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, how in the world did we talk about this for a whole year in the final word, and now all these media people just now trying to act like they understand and that it's been a tug of war between Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore? Am I tripping?
No way, man. Big game, man. Go ahead and lay it down for him, man.
I mean, you're not tripping at all. I mean, if you were started a job, right?
Yep.
And it was your dream job, and the boss came in, said, you got all this, you got all that, you can hire whoever you want, but this is going to be your assistant manager. How you going to feel?
Like trash.
You're not going to like that. You're going to feel like, well, you really didn't give me the keys. You know what I mean? You didn't really give me the keys because you're still holding on to this. And it's automatically going to cause friction from day one. Right. Because I wasn't allowed to bring Kellen Moore in. I feel like if Mike McCarthy was allowed to bring Kellen Moore in instead of him being forced, it could have worked. But I think that dynamic was messed up from the very beginning because he was forced on Mike McCarthy. So Mike McCarthy had to deal with him. And I feel like the first couple years, Mike McCarthy had to say good things about Kellen Moore because he ain't have no choice because Jerry and them were on his neck. Now, after this year, there's a lot of people in the air, and when the other people start talking and other people start being annoyed and start saying this stuff, now I feel like Mike McCarthy's like, I got ammo because I got other people talking about this dude.
Right.
Now I can start saying something about this dude. Yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like that. And especially when Jerry Jones, I'm telling you, this is what I feel. When Jerry Jones came to Mike McCarthy and said, I want you to be the coach as long as Tom Landry. I feel like Mike McCarthy said, oh, you do? Well, if you want me to be the coach as long as Tom Landry, then give me some power. All right, I'll give you some power. Yeah, I don't want Kellen Moore no more.
Right. Oh. hey, OC, somebody got a fire response. I want to get your thoughts on this. Somebody said, then don't take the job.
Man, can't leave money.
Well, at the end of the day, yeah, I mean,
I should have gave that to you, Law.
No, go ahead. I mean, go ahead, Law. I'll chime back in, man. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't insulting you. It was just
okay. No, I was saying at the end of the day, man, you got to really understand, man, what you're getting into. I mean, look, we ain't no fools. Look, McCarthy took the money, baby. He took the $25 million bag. Right. So I would agree. I would agree to keep on a coach for $25 million. I mean, come on now. Let's just be honest.
Tell the truth.
You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, I can always fight after I get building, and I can have somebody to blame, and I can say, look, this didn't work out because I didn't pick you, right? Which is true, but you did agree to it up front. Maybe it wasn't the best coach, but now you got to deal with it. So now what they've done is they've isolated Mike McCarthy by firing all of his friends and confidants, because if you're going to take away our favorite son, we're going to take away all of your buddies as well. Now you're on an island by yourself, sir. Call the plays or pick the OC, however you're going to do it, but at the end of the day, this season is on you, sir, and it's going to be known in the public that this is 100% on your head.
It smells
and that's
messy.
What happened.
It smells petty. This smells. This got a bad smell to it. Like, do you have some air freshener?
How does this smell petty? I'm asking it. How's it smell petty? Didn't Mike McCarthy want to do this?
No. The last part that the OC said, where he said, if you go take away Kellen Moore, we go take away all your allies. It has a sense of that.
I feel you, but didn't they take away his guys first?
Yeah, but it's pretty obvious that they knew that Kellen Moore was gone too.
Yeah.
They knew Kellen Moore, because ain't no way you get that charge job that fast. Ain't no way.
It was an inside job,
Listen, once they said they got rid of Rob Davis's close confidant and Phil Finn and those guys and let them go, I feel like that's when he came at them and said, well, if you letting my guys go, then you need to let me have who I want then. Right. And then I feel like that's when they're like, okay, like, well, I want to do this my way with Dak. I feel like he wanted to do it his way with Dak. And we all been, a lot of people been wanting to see it anyway, right? People been wanting to see Mike McCarthy call the plays. And people like, well, he ain't called plays in 4 or 5 years. I don't care if you a play caller, you a play caller. You that far off, you a play caller. Once you're a play caller, you're always a play caller. You just got to touch it up. But I feel like I want to see this anyway, right? Because
it's going to work.
People been wanting McCarthy to call these plays. People have been saying he need to take over. Why ain't he calling plays? The West Coast offense, they said, is better for Dak because it puts more onus on the quarterback.
Yep.
Okay. Pre and post-snap read, he has to be able to do it. It's more on him to make those calls. He has more control of the offense. That's what I want to see. I want to see if that level can go higher, because I told y'all how I feel. And as I said before now, Paul, it's going to be a lot of pressure on both of them guys.
It is.
It's going to be a lot of pressure on them guys because, see, the microscope's going to be on them, boss, because any little thing that happens bad, they're going to be like, see, Mike McCarthy ain't doing better. And then if Dak falters a little bit, so they're going to be on, if they were under pressure last year, they're going to be under crazy pressure this year. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's going to be pressure.
A whole lot of pressure.
And this the worst part about it too, Big. People go be looking at this like stat nerds. That's the worst part. So this is the worst part of what's likely getting ready to happen. Especially if you slow the game down and you become more of a running team, you're not going to be the #1 offense in yards and points. It's not going to happen because you basically slowed the game down and there's less possessions. You see what I'm saying? But they ain't going to care about that. They going to just throw up the surface stats. Under Kellen Moore, the offense was, and under Mike McCarthy, the offense is, it don't even matter if we winning. They going to still be doing those nerd comparisons out of context. It's going to be messy anyway.
I beg the difference because even the 49ers had the second-ranked defense, and we all know that they are a run-first team, and they finish off primarily top 5 in offense, and I think that we got a better quarterback over here.
True.
And if you look at the way they ran and did their operation, the variations of West Coast with some principles of quarterback nuances, I think that the Cowboys will still finish in top 5 in offense, even with Mike McCarthy. Now, here's the truths right here, ladies and gentlemen. What we want to see is eliminate those option routes. We want to see the ball get out quicker. We want to see even those, if you're using a big body wide receiver like a Michael Gallup or like a CeeDee Lamb, whereas he don't have to stop his feet. You just go back and look at the routes concepts that even A.J. Brown ran, right? He runs pretty much a simple slant, 9, slow go sometimes, basically, and he get hit in the tunnel screen. So you don't have to ask your playmakers to do a bunch of bevy of different type of routes. And I hope that the Cowboys look at that out of a Michael Gallup, who I'm just seeing people in the chat saying that he have another surgery.
Right. That's what I saw, bro.
Man,
I
is
saw
that.
Hey, we gonna get to that.
We
gonna get to that. We gonna get to that. And then let me look at on Twitter real quick. I'm gonna double check Twitter. Before we do that,
you know how they do.
Before we do that, I'm gonna kind of spin this to a little bit, and then let's pick this up, because this came from Ed Warner.
Yeah.
Ed said the front office failed Dak Prescott with the Amari Cooper trade and never overcame it despite many attempts. And my boy Keystone put out, be careful, this is excuses. Clap it up for Keystone. Clap it up. But it's a point to that, man, because like even before Ed said that, this guy named Connor said, and he pointed out, you know, where Noah and them ranked, which was at the bottom, right? In the whole league, and he talked about the average separation was around 2.4 with Michael Gallup. So we getting ready to talk about Michael Gallup right now, actually. All right. So then if I go back and I looked, and I went back, I said, hold on, what was the separation with receiver by committee? And it was 2.2, y'all.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was an epic failure to Dak in terms of separation. They did it again. So I'm gonna put all this together, and I want to talk about all this.
I wish you had. Do you have CD separation at least?
CeeDee Lamb,
I think it was more than 2.2 though.
It's definitely more than 2.2. Yeah,
he's
definitely gonna be more than 2.2. But this is the deal, and let's talk about this, because Fisher put something out, right? Fisher put something out about the current Hurts QB coach, Brian Johnson, was Dak's coach at Mississippi State. And I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard this and saw this, I was like, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, everybody go have a seat with that. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it, it's not about the ability to coach. To me, it's about this coach with the decision making. Because even before Fish posted that, I posted this about, I was low-key trolling, but there's some truth in it. I said, congrats to Jalen Hurts. His alleged MVP season is on pace to equal Dak's rookie season. But if you look at them side by side, Law, James, and the OC, bro, did that coach really help with Dak's decision making and protecting the football? Straight up.
Yeah. It's sad calls, man, because we can clearly look at the Eagles, and they did the reverse effect. They said that, okay, all right, we got this young quarterback. We don't know who he is really. He made it way to the playoff last year. They could have did two things. They could have said, all right, let's see if he can do it without weapons, and let's see if they can force a Jalen Reagor as his wide receiver and continue to beat the dead horse and see whether or not they can get something out of Jalen Reagor, or they can get rid of Jalen Reagor, bring in a legitimate number one wide receiver to match up with Smitty right on the opposite side, and let's reinforce the defense. Now, the Cowboys' philosophy was different. They said, okay, this Dak Prescott, who threw pretty well in his rookie year, let's see if he can do it without Ezekiel Elliott. That was the NFL. But let's see if he can do it without the wide receivers on the outside, right? So we're looking at some of the things that are similar. And when we look back at it, they didn't give Dak Prescott a legitimate wide receiver. One,
Nope.
Until the year 2018.
Yep.
You see, and that
Facts.
was when we were 3-5. They brought in Amari Cooper.
Yep.
And we didn't rank number 1 in offense or number 5 in offense, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say this right quick. We won a playoff game in 2018. But if you extrapolate the numbers and you look at it on the second half of that season, we finished out with just that. Number 1, number 2, number 3, respectfully in offense. So now that you look at 2019, what happened? They got rid of Scott Linehan. They elevated Kellen Moore from a quarterback coach to an offensive coordinator. And by organically, this was going to happen regardless. They finished off that year top 5 in offense. Why? That's organic happen. That's not growth happen for Dak Prescott. And they never added another outside wide receiver. They still had Amari Cooper, but remember they was on fringe with that in 2019.
Yep.
I know that these sound like babies of excuses, but Michael Gallup always been Michael Gallup, a third option. And they brought up and they elevated. I want you guys to look and listen to what I'm saying because y'all don't want to hear me.
I'm listening.
Randall Cobb was considered washed before he came to the Cowboys in 2019.
Facts.
Somehow, Randall Cobb elevated his game and became unwashed, right? And was a clean corn on the cob for the Cowboys. And they was able to utilize those weapons. And yes, we finished that season out 8-8. If it was any time to put more and more weapons around that team, should have been the 2019 team. But I digress, and I have nothing else to say. I'm going to let the panel speak on that.
Well, let me circle the block real quick before you go big on something that I may be very interesting to the panel. This is extremely interesting. And this is from, and you can look it up yourself, playerprofile.com. Okay? So this goes into efficiency, talking about CeeDee Lamb. Would you guys like to know his average target separation rate?
What is it?
And then let me define it before I give it to you. It's a receiver's average yards of separation from his assigned defender at the moment the pass arrives. Okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It is 1.77 yards, which ranks number 47 in the NFL. This is per Player Profile. This is per, I'm giving the source. This is per playerprofile.com. Look it up for yourself.
1.7?
1.77.
Oh,
they say 1.77.
Dak need a raise. Ooh.
They say one, and which ranks him number 47 in the league.
No way.
Go look for yourself. This is I'm just sharing with you data. This is underneath the advanced stats in metrics, okay?
1.
Now, they also give they give his win rate. They give his win rate, his total route win rate, right? Ooh. Which ranks number 14. His average route win rate is 50.3%, which ranks number 9 in the league, which is pretty good.
That's good.
Right? All right, so that gives him that. It's all types of stats. His drops, which were 3. His average cushion, the average cushion that a defender had on him, which means that, his assigned defender on each route run, which is like 4.3, which is number 87, right? So you got a lot of different stats about him. I can go through all these things. They're extremely interesting. But however, he had 107 receptions, 1,359 yards, all right, which rates number 6 in the NFL, and his receptions rated at number 4. So he had a really, really great year, but that just gives a little bit of context in terms of his route running efficiency.
Bro, if what you said is true, that boy Dak was throwing into keyholes, bro. Dak was throwing into keyholes this year, bro. I gotta double check that. I ain't saying you lying. I just gotta make sure because 1.7 is horrible.
Yeah.
That's trash. Boy, that means you ain't paying Dak enough. If that's true. Ooh, don't let that be true. I'm gonna go crazy.
Here's something else of note, and I'll give it to you, Big. Sorry. The QB rating per target, which is really saying that the QB rating generated by the team's quarterback when they target the receiver in the passing game. So the QB rating when targeting him is pretty high. It's 104.1.
Okay,
it is.
That's good.
All right, which is 22nd in the league. Go ahead, Big.
So what we're going to do about this then, fellas? Because if y'all telling me all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Dallas going to go out there and get a real number 2, or they just going to draft a rookie? Because, see, at the end of the day, I hear what y'all saying about this, but at the end of the day, Dak still got to make these plays. So are they going to get a number 2? Do y'all think? Do y'all think they're going to get a
They
solid
got
number
to.
2?
They should.
They got to.
They should.
They got to.
They should.
But they not.
Oh. If they
Who are they
don't,
going to get?
bro, I'm gonna put it like this.
I got my choices, but I want y'all to go.
What's going on with Law? You might be behind again. You might need to switch to your other camera because I think it's
Or Chinese law.
It's Chinese law. It's Chinese law, real bad. Oh yeah,
Twitter law. Man.
Yeah. Oh man, this yeah.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, it's real bad law. Oh,
The goats of law. All right.
All right, let's see if you can switch that camera real quick. But
no, man. I mean, we talked about guys in free agency. They don't dip in it. When did they really spend money on a bona fide other guy? We see even with T.Y. Hilton, they wait till the midseason. Although they did step up their game from previous years, actually doing something in midseason to try to help Dak with a speedy guy, even though he was past his prime. I don't know, man. I just feel like, all those stats that y'all say are definitely are real, and I definitely feel like they did a disservice to Dak during his career with not giving him the capable players. We saw it in 2017, just make it work. But I feel like Dak, you still gotta step up, and Mike McCarthy, you still gotta coach at the end of the day, because y'all got to deal with these Joneses. Y'all dealing with the hand that y'all dealt. Y'all dealing with this organization. You came to this organization, Mike McCarthy, knowing you had to know what the Joneses act like. And Dak, you know how the Joneses operate. So y'all can't expect them to go out there and get somebody. So y'all I just said it. Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, all of them going to have to overcome the organization. How many times have I said it, boss, with our players, that they have to overcome the organization and are going to have to play on a higher level?
You said that. Yeah.
Everybody else, or we're not going to win because the organization is not doing you any favors by helping you.
That's facts, bro.
And that's true facts right there, Big Game James. Because when I see that Josh Allen can't get it done with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and even the guy Joe Burrows struggled to get it done with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and those are two prolific quarterbacks that one can argue that from a micro size or a macro size is far better than Dak Prescott allegedly. So those are things that I know for sure that the Cowboys heading into this season, if they're going to try to re-up and say, okay, we want Noah Brown, Michael Gallup, who's coming off of another surgery, and CeeDee Lamb, shoot, that's going to be tough, man. Or Jalen Tolbert. I know that they sound like excuses, but that's going to be tough, man.
But hey, I do got some good news. I do got some new. I want to throw this at y'all. I talked to the OC about this today. I want to run this by you, Big, and you, Law. Mm-hmm. One good thing about
and boss, somebody dip in 15, bro.
Okay, the one good thing,
I got a dip in 15.
That's cool. This one good thing about the absence of Kellen Moore is you don't have option routes no more. And when you don't have option routes, you can simplify the playbook, and that's going to open it up for people we've been wanting to see, like Jalen Tolbert and Turpin. Yeah. I want to get y'all thoughts on that might kind of open us up for some weapons that never even really got utilized, that might be some bona fide dogs. What's y'all thoughts on that?
I'll jump in there right quick on this. I think having Mike McCarthy knows how to utilize weapons.
Yeah.
So I think he won't sit a Turpin out. He'll recognize what he can offer the team, and if he recognizes I'm not be able to get this stuff in free agency from the coaches, from the front office, then guess what? I got a speed guy right here, and I need to throw him in here and get him in on more routes. I need to be able to make him more of a threat. And then with Jalen Tolbert, like you said, you can simplify it for him. You make it easier for Jalen Tolbert because we want to see what he is. I don't think he's a bust. I think he's still got a lot to offer the team.
Me too.
I think he can play, and I think he's going to be better in year 2. And I think he'll be better with Mike McCarthy because Mike McCarthy knows how to utilize those receivers. Remember when we had Aaron Rodgers, they used to always get any kind of receivers and you'd be like, they have some dogs, but they always had them 6'2", 6'3" guys and they come out of nowhere and they play really good. And Mike McCarthy was really good with doing that. So I think he'll be able to do that with Jalen Tolbert. And I think, though, they're definitely going to draft a young rookie receiver, probably fairly high. We'll probably see that too. But man, if you got a dog out there, I know B-Hop's a little old, but if you got a dog out there, I think you got to do it, and that's the problem. If you want to restructure these contracts, right, fellas, with Dak and Zach and DeMarcus Lawrence, and I hope you don't do it with Zeke, but if you want to restructure those contracts and free up money, these other teams go out there and get 1 or 2 guys. That's what I've been screaming for the last 3-4 years, Boss, OC. You don't have to get 20 guys. You can just get 2. You can get 1 or 2. It's okay. But they still won't touch it. And you posted that law yourself from Space Cowboy about that Brandon Carge contract. And we were talking about it before, how ever since then, they gun shy as hell because they don't want to spend that money and then worry about the player not performing, and they like, man, we spent all that money, and it's all tied up, and we ain't doing nothing.
Right.
But y'all still take the gambles on young players who ain't proven nothing. You gamble on them, but you're like, well, they're cheap, so we ain't got to worry about that. I don't like that philosophy, how you gamble on the young players because they're cheap, but you won't go out there and get difference makers because they cost too much. That don't make no sense because you're still making the gamble either way.
So check this out, bro. We got this dude in the building, and he say, option routes simplify offense, stop the false information on option routes.
He must never play football.
Hell no, you ain't never played football. Then this dude said option routes are to simplify the quarterback reads. Bro. No, bro.
What's that Snoopy sound? Y'all need to get a Snoopy button.
No, bro.
You must be out your goddamn mind.
No, bro. No. The multiple option routes made the offense complicated as hell, bro. Like, you ain't got to agree with me to know that I played and coach. You a damn lie. You a lie. Don't you come in here lying. I played and coached. No, you didn't. You a lie. Shut up. Don't you come in here lying. Man, you a liar. Ain't no way you played and coached and said that BS. Okay, who you play? Who you coach? Flag? You ain't coached no real football. Hey, man, shut up. Man, then you over here talking about we lying.
Boss. He coached 5-on-5, boss. 5-on-5. 5-on-5, 5.
Man,
option route.
Then he got the nerve to call us like we been dishonest. Man, you better go sit your ass down.
Big and run the chair route. The out. He got the chair route. He run the chair route.
Big, what this dude talking about, Big?
The will and go.
What the fuck, Big? What the man? What was that?
He run the flare and the go. Hey, option routes. He run the flare and the go. That's his option. You do the flare, and if he cover, you just sprint up the field. That's the go. That's the option
you see
route.
this guy?
You run the flare and the go.
Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
Did he say I coach? You the wee woo fake news ass. If you
it's
don't
all
get,
fake news.
If you don't get out of here, go sit down with your front office, apologize yourself. Go sit down. Wee woo.
Hey, who channel he posted that on? So I go
he did that on my channel, I think, bro.
Hey, don't ban them, y'all.
I played and I coached. You liar.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen. You are fake news.
Yeah. Man, get out of here, bro.
Hey, look. Your voice matters, man. Don't worry about it.
Man, your voice don't matter. Go sit down. The only thing your voice needs to do is shut up.
Stick with the channel. He might want to learn, boss.
Man, he ain't trying to learn. I ain't doing it, OC. OC, this dude came in and called us a liar, dog. He called us a liar.
I was trying to help him.
He did, coach. It says I pulled it up, man. I'm just pulling up what he coached, man. Hold on. Breaking news. That guy coached for the Helen Keller water polo football team. Yes, it did. He was also undefeated. More news at 7 out of Arlington, Texas. He coached the Helen Keller water polo team.
Man, if you don't get out of here, bro. Oh, no, man, that dude got my neck hurting, bro. I'm laughing at this dude. Oh. All right, man. Let's get back to the. Let's get back to the show, bro.
I got nothing.
That dude got me crying for real, Donnie.
I got nothing but love for you, man.
Nothing but love for you.
You got nothing but love for you.
Hey, I do got a couple things on that real quick.
Man, hey, man, I don't want you to leave before we get to the next part, because the next part, the hot part. I don't want you to
Go
leave.
ahead. I'm gonna get this bit real quick though. But it's two ways that this thing could go, and we talked about this earlier. Like I said, which Boss is true. One of the few times we ever talk like ball before we get on the show. I think that the Dallas Cowboys can unleash matchup football underneath Mike McCarthy.
Facts.
And you may be able to take advantage of people in the slot, because think about Green Bay. Think about what they did with the rookie. I believe his name was Watson, the real fast guy that just burned everybody, but he had troubles dropping the ball early in the year. Well, most of the time they ran him on post and go routes. That's all he did. That's all they did with him. It was a one-on-one matchup because he just was faster than people. He could run by you. We could do the same type of things with Turpin. We'll see what Tolbert does. We'll see if even Simi Fioku, does anything, right? But if that doesn't work, right, here is your surefire way. And my only problem with the Cowboys, I wish the Cowboys would invest and just pay for a really good free agent. DK Metcalf comes to mind. Somebody like that you have a real advantage. You invested in this position to balance the field, to give yourself an obvious advantage. So I see it going both ways. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, so I wanted to get to this right here, bro. Now, this is the main part I wanted to get to right here, bro.
Right.
Is front office too damn friendly? What I mean by that is our guys' philosophy killing contention windows?
Yes.
So let's talk about that from this standpoint. I'm going to play something. I want y'all to listen. Then we go talk about this, because this is big to me. I want y'all to hear me out on this. Check this out. This came from September 10th on G-Bag Nation. Listen to this.
You're four really fine players, and you still have one of the most talented rosters in the league. I don't know if that's ever been done, Steven.
Well, I'd start with, we would have not had other guys here had we chosen different directions. I mean, I know for sure we wouldn't have had, we wouldn't be looking at, Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong, guys like that on our team. You're probably not necessarily looking at having a number one and a tackle had you made a different decision, and Tyler Smith, which we're certainly glad that we do. Losing both, losing Connor Williams as well. I mean, you certainly feel when you lose a Connor in the IL, you need to do something about that in the draft, and we certainly did with Tyler, and thrilled with his progress. Obviously going to be our starting left tackle there day one. Some of those things, I think caused us to make moves that I think we'll look back on and say, hey, I'm glad we made that move. And certainly, if we keep Amari, I don't know that we're able to re-sign Gallup. And
there it is. Listen to that last part.
Able to re-sign Gallup, and if we keep Amari, I don't know that we're able to re-sign Gallup. And
right. So we look at Gallup, right? And you look at the fact that Michael Gallup was their guy, right? He was drafted, and y'all know what we do with the guys that are drafted. We treat them like sons. We like our guys. That's what I mean by are we too friendly? But see, it was hard. It was hard for them to make a very, very, can I just be honest, cutthroat decision, because he had a late ACL surgery. Mm-hmm. And you had a healthy Amari. But they went out there and they signed Gallup and rushed him back because they prioritized him over Amari. Now, people go try to say, no, they got rid of Cooper because they wanted to let CeeDee Lamb grow up. But that's not what Steven said. Steven said this.
Keep Amari. I don't know that they're able to re-sign Gallup. And
see, what he said was, if we would have signed Amari, we couldn't have kept Gallup. That means you chose Gallup over Amari.
Yeah.
And that is friendly. That is making football decisions based on, I like this guy. He one of us.
He took that shot, man.
Versus sending him on to the streets to try to go make his own way to get onto another team.
Yeah.
That could come across evil, but hey, when you a football and you putting a team first, man, sometimes you got to make them hard decisions. Bringing me to this. We got us a deep running back class in the draft. I've already been in it. I know y'all have too. Do we and are we too friendly, and will that cost us? Real talk.
Yes.
Do we make the tough decisions?
Yes. No.
Big smile. I gotta start with Big, because Big smile. I gotta start with Big, man. He got that sneaky smile, bro.
Oh, he froze.
Oh, he froze. Damn.
Oh, lost his
he
space.
froze.
Oh, man.
But let me say this though.
Okay.
What we did essentially is we could have kept Amari Cooper. But we decided to go back and forth with the article that was leaked that he gave up on certain plays, right?
Right.
And people fail to realize the last time Amari Cooper was injured, I believe it was all the way back to 2019. You know, so what I think it was 2020 or 2019. Y'all can put it in the chat. But it was Gallup that continued to be injured. It was Gallup that was always having knickknacks and things like that couldn't finish out a full season. But that's neither here nor there. So they paid Gallup and they also paid Dorrance Armstrong. Like you said, they are friendly with their guys with the money. But guess what? To 2023, guess who's in the contract year already? Dorrance Armstrong. Dorrance Armstrong. You know why? Why? Because he signed a 2-year deal.
Right.
So now he's going into another contract year. So he's going to look to re-up that money. And the problem is when you do that, you overdraft. Remember, they talked about drafting being the lifeblood of this organization and franchise. Guess who had 0 snaps in his last game? Who could probably have been a difference maker? Sam Williams. You see? So those type of things, we self-sabotage ourselves. We say we like to hold on to these draft picks and we don't want to let them go, but we don't know how to wheel and deal. It would have been an optimum time to let Dorrance Armstrong taste the water from another team, and then you utilize the guys that you draft, like a Sam Williams. That's the whole point of drafting him, right? He's the 2nd-round draft pick. Utilize your weapons.
Right. Man, that's true. That's good. Damn, I hope Big comes
back. Yeah. And I'm going to say this before I dip off. At the end of the day, when you deal with the running back position, every running back has a 3 to 5 year window, in my opinion, of premier performance. There are exceptions to the rule, like a Adrian Peterson, even like a Derrick Henry, but most guys have tread that just it wears out, man, and you don't know when that tires go pop. We know that after 30, they go downhill extremely fast. But before that, you've seen many running backs go downhill, like that got paid. You've seen Leonard Fournette get a contract and go down. You've seen Alvin Kamara get a contract and go down. You've seen Delvin Cook get a contract and go down. So in terms of the running back room, here's my solution. Let them all ride and get younger in a hurry through that draft. That's what I think. I wouldn't re-sign Pollard. No offense. I think he's awesome. And unless it's a team-friendly deal with Dak, I wouldn't worry about it. I would get fresh meat in here that's hungry, that's trying to prove a point, because you go get the best ball and you go get the best fresh body and legs. And there's plenty of talent in this draft to do just that.
That's why the OC, my homie, dog. Ooh. Hey, and I'm going to say something, bro. I'm in the lab. I'm looking at the free agents and I'm looking at these draft choices. One person in the chat said, you don't got to draft a running back in the 1st and 2nd round to get you a home run in this draft. That's a fact.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, it start getting hard to pick any of them once you get to like grades on round 3 and round 4. They start looking the same. All of them cold. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real. And Bijan, I know a lot of people happy and hype on Bijan. I guarantee you it's going to be somebody in the 3rd round, in the 4th round, in this draft that's going to outshine him. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that.
And salute, fellas.
Well, get a final word before you get up out of here, OC. Get a final word before you get up out of here.
Yeah.
And make sure you tell these people to like, bro.
The...
We got 300 people in here with no likes.
Yeah, man. Y'all please hit the like button on all the channels. All right, first of all, Boss Cowboy Sports, Law Nation, Big Game James, man. Follow us, subscribe, like, and comment. Turn on your bell notification icon. If you want the best news from the best content creators in the land, follow all the channels, all right? And please, by any means, hit that like button. Final word is this, man. The Dallas Cowboys have an opportunity to get great. The Cowboys are good. The Cowboys are not great. The Cowboys need more offensive depth. The Cowboys need a couple more good pieces defensively, in my opinion, on the defensive line and from the linebacker position. You got every opportunity through free agency and in the draft to get better in a hurry. And I think if you will invest, if you just picked one and you could invest in a splash signing that could help this team, I think that'll go a long way to build the confidence of the Dallas Cowboy Nation and to further your chances to be elite and to be a Final Four team and hopefully a Final Two team making a Super Bowl and go ahead and getting us that 6th championship trophy. All right, guys, salute. That's my time.
All right, man. Appreciate you. And real quick, I want to say something real quick. I went too hard on True Cowboys Fan 1972 because they said that he came from your channel. I apologize, Law, because I thought he was on my channel with that stuff. Anybody that's coming from Law channel, Big Game James, I want to show respect because these are people that subscribe to those guys. I want to show respect even if I disagree. I thought you was on my channel with that. So, man, I apologize. And I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question just so we can kind of talk civilly about the option routes. The only thing that frustrated you is you called us liars. So, and we work too hard to be called liars. You know, we not telling lies. We've done too much research on this. So let me explain the option routes real quick before we get into the final word. So with the option routes, your quarterback and your receivers have to be and read the defense at the same time. You said it's about them finding open spots in the zone, which you oversimplified it. You can't find open spots in the zone unless you know what the zone is. That means you have to be able to read it. That means that your quarterback and your receivers have to be able to read it. And if you going against a defense that's good at disguising and showing deceptive looks, your receivers got to be able to look through it just like your quarterback. That's why it does not make it easier on your quarterback. That's also why Mike McCarthy said himself that it's a much slower progression for your quarterback. He also said himself he doesn't prefer option routes at all. And he said we never been in a system that ran the option routes this aggressive. So I'm telling you the truth. I got many videos that break this down. Next time, if you disagree with any one of us, don't put nothing in there like we lying, because we work too hard to give true information to be being deceptive. So if you say we deceptive, I promise you I'm gonna call you out on that on my channel. But because you came from Law channel, I'm gonna show you respect and I'm gonna address it. But the next time if you on my channel and call me a liar, I'm gonna call you out, big dog. And you supposed to get called out because you supposed to talk like with more respect to us than what you just did. So expect what you got, big dog. But
no doubt, man.
Yeah,
you spoke that from the heart, man.
Yeah,
hey, before you say anything else, man, I just gotta give a quick shout out to these people: Sadiq, West Coast, Matt Baton, Ilmatic, Jalen Town, D Shift, Dwayne Brown, It's a Man 7, and also Showtime Sports Media. I appreciate y'all for all of the super chats. I really thank y'all. I know we couldn't get a chance to read out your super chats, but I thank y'all.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. And then somebody said this real quick, and then I'm gonna move on because I'm in petty mode a little bit. But he said, you compare Jalen Hurts season to Dak rookie season. I don't remember Dak winning 14 games and made it to a Super Bowl. I mean, I did compare the regular season. I'm sorry that hurt your feelings, but facts are facts, dog. They passing numbers was right around the same. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That hurt your feelings? It's a fact.
It
bro.
hurt his feelings. And they in the Super Bowl, and they worry about us giving them validations and credence,
bro,
man.
yeah,
But on top of that, Jalen Hurts haven't thrown a touchdown yet in these postseason games. So I get it, man. Jalen Hurts a phenomenal guy. He can read the defense pretty good. I guess he's an accurate thrower of the ball, but he just can't throw touchdowns. But he can run the ball in there, and shout out to them. They're going to lift up the Lombardi Trophy if they can do the same thing this 2 weeks from now. They won't be able to do it if they don't keep everything controlled.
Yeah.
And it'll be the other guy, Pat Mahomes. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
How
we'll see.
We'll
see. But bro, y'all can't get mad at facts, bro. Because this is one thing I love about Cowboy Nation, Law. When I was saying that we built and we get talent better than Philly, most of the Cowboy fans was fighting me on that, Law. And I like that because they want truth. They don't want nobody catering to them. They don't want nobody trying to give them sugar. You know what I'm saying? They will fight me tooth and nail, bro. So, like, you Philly Cash, y'all got to learn, bro. When we give y'all truth, bro, you just got to take it, bro. His passing numbers was right around the same as Dak, and it's true. Get over it. It's true, dog. So, but real quick, let me get into my final word, and then obviously the OG Law close it out. So, as a final word, I would say this. I still stand on this, even though I lost the debate. I lost the debate to the OC yesterday. But I still stand on this, that I don't think talent is our problem. I don't think talent is our problem. I think it's kind of like the small things. I think it's stuff like ego. I think it's stuff like having a philosophy of our guys. I think that we, frankly, sometimes are too friendly to where because we drafted a guy, we gonna sign that guy, and the other guy that was a free agent, we don't consider him ours. You know, we don't consider Amari one of our guys, so then we get rid of that guy. So it's that friendly stuff. Cause see, we had the talent to run it back. We had the talent to come in and just really put it on San Fran, but y'all wanted to be friendly. Y'all wanted to stick with your stubborn philosophy of sticking with your guys and paying your guys and watering the seeds that you put in the ground. And just to be honest, man, if front office don't learn that sometimes football is tough and it's hard, and sometimes, frankly, it hurts. It hurts for somebody to hurt their ACL late in the season. That's a good guy. Nobody got a problem with Gallup, the person. He smiles. He gives back to the community. He's a hard worker. You know, he keeps his head down, but he did get injured at the wrong time. And y'all chose him over Amari. And we know in hindsight, even with foresight, that was a bad move. And you got some tough decisions to make still. We love Pollard, but you really got to look yourself in the mirror and you got to really say, will he be the same? You got to ask that question, dog. This is football. You got to ask that question. Do we put millions on Pollard, or do we restock with these young guys and then run it back with fresh legs? That's the ugly side of football, but that's also the reality. And I'm not even certain that our front office is really ready to live in reality. I don't know if they can handle that tough truth, Law. That's my final word, big dog. It's on you.
Man, injuries like these things are at an all-time high. In the 80s and the 90s, we didn't see these type of injuries occurring. Like, Michael Irvin had that big catastrophic injury. He came back even better, right?
Yep.
But it wasn't like it was an ongoing thing, right?
Right.
It just like it was just him. My guy Emmett, he didn't have like one of these things. His shoulder may pop out of place, but it wasn't like an ACL, MCL tears and things that we see now.
Right.
And even the quarterback Troy Aikman, ultimately he only had like the concussions and things like that. And then, of course, he had some sprains here and there. It cost us a playoff situation, but that's a whole nother story. But these magnitudes of injuries, like what we see out of Terrence Steele, Tony Pollard, there's going to be hard conversations that need to be answered this offseason. Yep. But also going back and looking at Amari Cooper versus the Michael Gallup situation. And Michael Gallup, it could just be cleanup surgery. I don't know what it is actually. But those are things that just go with football. Just like I go back to this movie that I watch over and over again, my guy Boss. And he was a 300 warrior, and he said,
Spartan! What is your profession?
He asked them what was their profession, right? And they knew that they was going to go into battle. They knew that they was going to go in with a certain number and they was going to leave without a certain number, right? And not all of those guys was going to go in the same, coming out the same. So that's just how this is. Hey, dust your feet off, pat your back, and then just keep it moving. Cowboy Nation, we got to figure out how we going to play this out. There's no love in this game, unfortunately. This is all business. And there's no way we can look at this and say, hey, it's fair. This is a young league. You just got to move on, and that's just how it goes. But you got to lobby and start speaking good things to these guys. And then when it's time to trade them, the value stay the same. You can't sell it a player's name because what people see, it's just like you and I see it. And when we look at it, we say, man, Cowboys are kind of crass of talking bad about that team, about that player, about that situation. And then it trickles down. And then the outside free agents players are looking at it like, Dallas is cool and all, but I might as well go to L.A. or I might as well go to Miami or I might as well go to New York because they can see the things that happen right here at the start by we eat our own. So, that's just how it goes, man. I'm going to hear y'all one more time.
Spartans! Prepare for glory!
Let's go. That's my final word, man.
Man, that was dope. All right, man, that was the final word, man. Y'all already knew we was going to keep it real. We did. So y'all look forward to the future. We got some more heavy topics we going to be tackling. We not shy about keeping it real on here, so we gonna keep it real. We go, cause championships are won in the off season.
Yeah.
I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take the
Let's
deal.
go.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Kinda check the song. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Run it up.
Run it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change to the safe, got blues inside.
Say that again, Law.
Shout out to all of the mods. I appreciate them.
Yeah, shout out to the mods, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Holding it down. Holding it down, man. Much love for everybody, man. Y'all share the shows and make sure y'all like it on everybody's channel. Show love to Law Nation, of course. Big Game James, of course, and Boss. It's a little bit of work, but, man, y'all already know, man. We go put in that work, so just put in the work with us so that we can continue to be some of the independent voices of the nation that's saying the truth. Let's get it, y'all.
Keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.